Hey y'all, I'm Nick Pomeroy with PR Equipment out here in Kearns, Texas. Hey, today we want to talk about another one of our Bestway sprayers. This is what we call a Bestway tall tire sprayer. It's available in a 300 or a 500 gallon, but typically speaking, we only stock it in a 500 gallon. If you needed a 300 gallon, we could do that. It's the same frame. But we typically stock it in a 500 gallon because that's what's popular around us. And I say around us, but we actually sell these sprayers all over. So if you're maybe in the next state over and you know, are interested in getting one of these, you might reach out to us and just see, sometime from time to time we have sprayers going everywhere. We might be able to get you, you know, pretty decent on freight, and I think you'll find that a lot of our pricing is hard to beat. We sell a lot of sprayers. I mean, we've got sprayers everywhere right now, so if you're looking for anything in spray equipment wise, check us out. I think it's worth the time. But I want to talk a little bit about this 500 gallon. It's very, very similar to the what we call the Low Pro, which is where it's going to have just a standard implement tire on there. However, on this sprayer, we're going to be running the R24s, and so it's more of a tractor style tread. It's that R1 style tread. And it's not so much, it does help to have the tread if you're on inclines or things like that, loose soils and whatnot. But a lot of what we're trying to do with the R1 tread is get a little bit more ground clearance. And so when we have rough fields or we have hills or whatnot, getting it up off the ground is helpful. And so we like to raise it up off the ground to give that boom a little bit more movement or room for movement before we hit the ground. So it's really more about ground clearance than anything, but in some situations having the additional traction is nice. It's the same frame. It's all gusseted in really nice places, so it's a strong frame that hasn't given us any trouble. And we talked a little bit about the control valve. This is what we call, this is our modular valve. Really like this valve control system. We have other options on our ag spray line. They're going to use more of a single control head, but I really like this modular valve that's made by T-Jet. And so we're going to have, you know, obviously our agitation. We've got 3 boom section control because like on all of our booms, and then of course what we call the Texas boom, which is kind of a boomless option, we have 3 section control. And then finally we have our gun control valve over here, and so that controls our premium T-Jet spray gun, which is nice. Now we also have our pressure regulation and of course our gauge, so everything is kind of at your fingertips. And we have the valves in stock, so if you wanted to convert this to electric, we keep these valves in stock, or at least try to. I know we currently do because I saw them yesterday, but we have the valves in stock to convert this to electric, and it's not as big a chore as maybe on some other, you know, sprayers where we have to replumb everything going from manual to electric. All we got to do is change out the valve section, so it's relatively easy. I mean, I don't even think there's any threads that would have to be taped or sealed or whatnot, which is kind of nice with the flanges, how they do that with the rubber versus with the thread sealant. So I'm a pretty big fan of this control valve. It's one of the premium features that Bestway does offer us. A couple other things to notice: we're using a little bit heavier strainer on this than some of the other sprayers we sell. It is the banjo style strainer, and it does have a banjo valve on the back side here, which allows us to shut off flow from the tank very easily so we can clean that strainer. It's incredibly important for guys who are maybe pulling out of a tank or something like that, or where we're going to pick up a little sediment and have to clean it out a little more often. It's just a little easier to do that. On the Bestways, our return flow coming from our regulator is going to come back into the top of the tank. Just provides a little bit more agitation for us. So that's a nice feature. And then moving around the back, this is the X-Fold Bestway boom. They offer a couple different boom systems. This is probably the premium fold system, and we like it for a variety of reasons. But one of the big ones is it does break away both directions. So you do have the ability to like say if you hit something, it'll break away, but also it kind of lets it move just a little bit. And when we're out in those bumpy fields, the more rigid things are, the more things that break. And so we like that it will break away both directions, and it's very easily adjustable. And I took the nut loose on this just to show you, but this turnbuckle right here will adjust that boom level. And so if you need to make a quick adjustment in the field, maybe you need these outside wings to be a little higher. There are some applications where it's like, oh crap, I need to get this thing up. We have this turnbuckle, and all we do is we turn it, and of course now, you know, lock your nut, of course, but that will allow us to make those quick adjustments with that turnbuckle. We've actually had really good luck with this boom. It doesn't have a lot of the springs and things like that, but I honestly think this boom is riding as good or better than some of our other booms. that you might spend a little bit more for. So AI 1103, the AIXR I should say, 1103 nozzles, they're air inducted, 03 orifice size. We've got those on here, same as all of our ag spray units. We still have the nozzle stop, the check valves on all of our nozzles. It's like I say, overall for the price point, it's hard to beat. You know, we've got these sprayers priced right now at $7,000. We've got, I don't know, 5 or 6 or so in stock. We can also upgrade to a true stainless steel pump. Delvan offers us an actual machine stainless steel roller pump. That's a nice upgrade. We can do that for 500 bucks. So if you guys need to spray the fertilizers or the more corrosive chemicals, we have an option for you. Or if we need to convert this to hydraulic, we've got options for that as well. And maybe this isn't the sprayer for you. You don't want this boom, you want one of our other booms. We offer a chain boom and a shock boom. Maybe you want to go with a different boom. We have ways to customize these sprayers, or smaller, larger. We go everything from 50 gallon all the way up to 1,000 gallons. So if y'all are looking for pasture spray equipment, you can bet PR Equipment's got what you need. Give us a call if you have any questions, 903-270-0877. You can text us, subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook, or like I say, just stop by sometime. Thanks.